once a quiet community by the sea, now stands on the front lines of climate change. As the ocean rises, so does the fear of losing homes, land, and livelihoods. Yet amid the struggle, resilience endures. Just 22 kilometers from Suva, Buretu sits barely 2 meters above sea level. Just 22 kilometers from Suva, Buretu sits barely 2 meters above sea level. The tides no longer stay at the shore, they now creep in to the heart of the village.
Korong Buretu sa kila te umatentu ikaw ang below sea level Napakata ni uwan na kita taray kim sa ako liw. Ili ka na ulan titi patalo man koro tungo. Ili lalay sa na bakata ni watalip sa tungo. Ili watala lalay sa kalay sa ili. Ye kalau ngata ni motentu nganda buki kemam cukup. Wala itu hasil liw sana. May ka sona ka ni ulan rambat. Kim sa Kim sa ko huli nga pinaka.
For generations, the people of Buretu lived by the rhythm of the tides, fishing, farming, and harvesting mana, the mud lobster that sustained their families. But the ocean they depend on is now swallowing their fields.
Ubing karam tinga na alam ni koro Buretu baga turangan koro. Sa bagi ruti mo nung ubing karabe na koro. Alam ni koro ko rusa bul ko alti na bubale. Tul sa bul baga na balera tingo alam ni koro. Rusa bul ko alu na balera tawti ko. Kena bo era lalo tunga sengan tawani. Itu tan na kenda tuki. Kabita na bali tingo lalo sarana bondua. Kima mina buri-buri la bundu nga ko na sasaru. Do manai. Misala o may na andra kini bisa usa rakun rebosar. Itu na niu kima mde warra na niu liu. Ento may babi. Ngono ko kisasya sa zuru may na witui. Sa andra rebo kini titi sa lilito nga. Sa zuru mana wonon titi no witui. Ngono go sa lo may nangon sa lori lebu ke mam sa wana matangai taun na buru-buri labo sa sali lisar lebo kana sa salu sa ore ni kimo mi rawato bo lebu ni mo mi buru-buri labo iliu na niu sa ore na ngono gombat sa duru mo may nawitui ani mo mi bonon titei wakina bo e niu sa vida sarana ka kimo roti ngono go.
Their main source of income, mana, is now scarce. Villagers earn less and food has become harder to find. Climate change isn't a distant theory here, it's a matter of daily survival.
Sawarin libu na titi. Sa chusa nga iso na puno, kima mi puno ni mama tara titi sa chicken na tabawan. Puno budi. Uno bude to kina na bingkela sa chukin ko warin lip sa chukuna kuni tete kimi mirnika kimami kalungatan ni sambul man ni membol mo don makasa chukuna ngona bol ngona rak de kita enta lagu de rum chukuna ko kunin rak bisau na puna kimami baka vini kina kona kalu kimi baka vini kina kona kalu ni rauni Bisau taka ka kota mai na rai me bakana nimi kemami me kemami ka kunin betel nimi bonwa me kemami marre na kuno mbich kemami kena kalu na kuno ngo Buretu kuno lugu na kanga kemami rida kami kemami bisau tak na rai se me bisau saranga na bika kwarantau sangniron rida irang kasiliu me sa kemami roni takabaron ngonen te me kemami sayan rai Kimi misalnya dan terbaik, yang aku usahakan ni, usahakan tu bukan salah tegir sahaja cuma tamuan. Kentu usahakan aku mentan titik na se ko na buli me saki mami titik sanga na buli taka kami bukan ni mo ya sanga na buna na roni somba sarau sakin na taro na bu saka ni ndragi bisau tara saka suguna kuno Buretu na bunua lugu na bunua saka ni mo na woli lewe king tide yo suguna ko na woli lewe so ngoni kimami sombu ke pana bas bana ngoni sala me kimi tombalani bana footpath me kimi sangani ni man mateli bali donu makana wolio ni donu makana wolio sakimi mtega bulu batana ni me baba balatani sakimi mbutu waya na mbutu waya ni ko wakan do saranga mana matani kaba mo saduru bai ya na wolio kimi sota ya na ngono ko kimi sasanga juga me weta ta kona nakanganda juga bakal lebur itu nangon sakai dai na nangele saka na nukwe na korchugo mai wai keroni komoi bonwa meroni bukan membulu kona buno ko sarkane chugo na wuri.
In the heart of the crisis, Buretu's youth have become the village's first responders. When floods strike, they move, helping the elderly, protecting homes, and organizing shelters. The village youth are determined not just to survive, but to safeguard their home.
Kena puno sang Buretu ni wole samai sona pi pale ralu. Ya ni mamita bisa kacukan tabungan ni. Meki meminduan raba na non rombol somba ka rabol yang itu na itu pakin yang wanra se somba ka sara molmolum irna kasi me ana kana bu kinga na non le weti mai mera ka wena puno ni rodo ya sa ndo na puno ke irna kasi liwer do maka rando ngolinda ya ni memingon tabungan na ngono go sa chuko rutubi koso ya na ngono saranga tubi tapi talno sa chukin go sa tarwo saka chuko na palo pa korwo me walin ronro kapag kin me walin bosi orong sa chuko bir nung kasi sara liu saka ani rando non puno nin ronro nangon sare lu me kin na korong Buretu sara rando unroi na koroi na sumutua na puno na sumutu me tako rando unro kin ko ndonu makoyau na nunguna na korni buli ora tu biko sa primary school kotong goi na punong goi Buretu na korni buli tamborua gosa gona na puno ni min ro ni do ado mai na wolu se dangilamba se dona lenga tumukoso kime min do nro ni korni buli ya nangonongo kime mi bagabini na kapuan tukin bola saya kuat nak keluleu ko sudah cukup na ideng nimbul ni rawa ni kime sarap chunga ko na pala ko satar bongo ndo me volin bose na kilip sa chunga saya kuat ni volin ro sa kime wariteling kay korni bul rutubi ko so primary school sa kime na pakay ng takasanga na puno sa ko na ko tarang ko na valwa korbo me ni me volin ro ena korsa ko Buretu ya uliu sa chuko ni tambongone ni korsa ko koturango Buretu au ele tulus ko kalima irnong ko tambongone era registered chuko sa katal ko erna tambongone era simbar sa chuko ni era register yang lom ni korsa ko Buretu ena ndo sa kana ni nagiliw me kimi sando na ngoni kimi minta uso di kinabango me kimi minta bos ka sando bukan ni mir sa chukin me mbala sa chukin ni bonwa ni na lowray na puno ko puno lewikin na pakatata me pasa usa tukun sa kawit me puno lugul sa chukin na puno Buretu sando chukin na kimi minta uray na puno ko na bebal ko ranto pakaleng kay pakaliw ko basi ka sa chukin pakalib na way yasa ka kimem na reda da uchuko so na sachunga kikona vunua ko kimmeruni bibu na pale ngami kimem bukira merapakara rata men ngoni wa ulu sena ngona ni lebu kena na wai erdo basi ngamai do sakan ni memina kina gilebu me kimami reclaim ta kana ni mami ngel ko sarali ya ni mi simbara saka kimi sandu bimbuli saka chukuna tamuan zapa entara ni takaba menda bukeke na nonda unua sena nonda yombul ko sarali kimami sangka indo bakasamta ndo na mbaki sa wochi kimami musuniu musuna biniu le te mai warani te ni buso chao le ngome le mbaniwa metarova nangel sa chuki bono merka kuningai wai zakana mbaniwa kimi bakang takana na biniu musuna biniu bakang to kete na bimbarai yana kakimi sangaji ko mero ni kimi maro ni membonwa ena buku ni ndraki bisau yokila ke bakanan ndraki bisau entana sana wara ni taro bara ndraki bisau sana basi ngamai sana ngamai ndraki bisau o kenta sanga nakanga na tapa entana rauni takaba atar entana taronga se tapa entana rauni takaba kasanga mentara rauni takaba mengai sanga mebiki entana bibaka sambinaka meroni bukesa kan nonton benua se tapa nakai rauni takaba na bikasa ke sa sisu nangel right takana bani wa se takana bulu nangono sango bebasa kan ni kasanga kimi takab sukan tabungan na marro ini bonua bakasa kan naskela sisu kuna wai go main bocin wai bisa kan bani wa nabi kau sona bibali ke bakada na takos sakani na lomni kor entana rei tentona wali to kalau nina rei tentona entai sambulu enangone iliu ento bisa ka chukuna na kau wasa ka chukuna chukuna bai mendo chukuna nyanu chukuna maitai lomni kor chukana buku sakani dur chukuna na wai na ua na udi wa sardur ke chukuna sara ba to na wasa na mateni wali kimi misangka do ka radu kungo me do ka na kau tak na buru-buru. Kimi bapa ni minasa wana matin tu ni raun ni bebu kan na buru-buru sa ka na ngona entendai. Apa ko si na bapa ni binaka le wana tukin bola.
The village youth are determined not just to survive but to safeguard their home. Yet they face a future uncertain as the ocean creeps closer each year.
Yet they face a future uncertain as the ocean creeps closer each year. In response to the growing threat, the Ministry of Rural and Maritime Development has stepped in, building new evacuation centers in vulnerable communities like Buretu.
Evacuation centers continue to form a critical pillar of Fiji's disaster risk management architecture. Facilities not only serve as safe shelters during extreme weather events, but also operate as temporary refuges for families who have lost their homes and livelihoods. In essence, evacuation centers are an essential component of our national resilience system for protecting lives, safeguarding dignity, and ensuring social stability during crisis. Mr. Speaker, sir, under the National Disaster Risk Management Act 2024, the National Disaster Risk Management Council is mandated to approve any building designated for use as an evacuation center. And in support of this, the Director of the National Disaster Risk Management Office, NDRMO, is developing a comprehensive evacuation center retrofitting and construction guideline. This guideline will introduce clear technical, social, and environmental standards to ensure that all centers are safe, inclusive, and climate resilient. It represents a key policy instrument for integrating risk-informed planning into community infrastructure development. Consistent with the Ministry's strategic focus on resilient infrastructure, Mr. Speaker, sir, a total of $1 million was allocated in the 2024-2025 financial year for evacuation centers. And with this funding, the Ministry implemented 30 projects nationwide involving retrofitting, completion, and new construction of centers as follows: 11 in the Central Division, 7 in the Northern Division, 6 in the Eastern Division, and 6 in the Western Division. Mr. Speaker, sir, complementing these government-funded initiatives, the Ministry also worked closely with the United Nations Development Programme's Governance for Resilient Development in the Pacific, or GovForES for short, to pilot community-based projects in high-risk areas. These include the retrofitting of the Alombi Village Evacuation Center in Waya, Yasawa, construction of the Vio Evacuation Center project in Lotoka, and the Waturamulo Multipurpose Evacuation Center in Waturova, the Konrove, which is nearing completion. These partnerships illustrate the Ministry's strategic approach to leverage cooperation for localized resilience building. In addition, Mr. Speaker, sir, the Ministry, in partnership with the Korea International Cooperation Agency, or KOICA, and the International Organization for Migration, is implementing the Strengthening National and Community Resilience to Disaster and Displacement Risks project, which there are 4 new purpose-built evacuation centers and 4 retrofitted ones. 4 new evacuation centers donated by KOICA, Mr. Speaker, sir, include Maumi Village in Tailevu, Watukuda in the Konrove, Rakuwaka in Ra, and Nawowo in Ovalau. 4 retrofitted evacuation centers are in Yabusunia, Nandi, Tanrandave, Tailevu, Nakama, Lambasa, and Kambariki in Kandavu. These newly built evacuation centers, Mr. Speaker, sir, have incorporated all the design features and standards required to cater for humanitarian needs and security requirements for vulnerable groups, and serve as a model for communities and stakeholders who wish to construct their own in the future. Mr. Speaker, sir, for the 2025-2026 financial year, a further $1 million has been secured for the continuation of this program. To date, 26 projects have been approved for implementation, including both retrofitting and new construction. 5 in the Central Division, 8 in the Western Division, 7 in the Northern Division, and 6 in the Eastern Division. These projects' distribution demonstrates the Ministry's commitment to maintaining balanced regional investment and ensuring that the most vulnerable communities are prioritized. Mr. Speaker, sir, the growing demand for evacuation centers is a clear reflection of Fiji's evolving climate risk profile. Stronger cyclones, prolonged flooding, and coastal inundation continue to strengthen the safety of rural and maritime communities. The Ministry's strategic response is to transition from reactive shelter provision towards a proactive, risk-informed infrastructure program that integrates inclusive design principles, particularly in catering for women, children, and the elderly, and persons with disabilities. This aligns well with the Fiji National Adaptation Plan, the National Disaster Risk Reduction Policy, and the National Disaster Risk Management Act, in ensuring that evacuation center investments contribute to a broader national resilience and sustainable development goals. And Mr. Speaker, sir, while we continue to expand our network of evacuation centers, the Ministry equally emphasizes the importance of strengthening resilient housing systems through the Rural Housing Assistance Program. By empowering households to adopt cyclone-resilient building designs and community self-help approaches, the Rural Housing Assistance Unit complements our national goal of reducing displacement during disasters. Mr. Speaker, I also wish to acknowledge the steadfast support of our development partners and community stakeholders whose collaboration enhances the impact and sustainability of government's investments. Through these partnerships, we aim to move from emergency response to long-term resilience in ensuring that every Fijian community has access to safe, climate-resilient, and inclusive shelters when disasters strike.
Over 30 evacuation projects are underway across Fiji, four of which are brand new purpose-built shelters. In Buretu, this new center stands as a beacon of hope, a safe place for the 28 families who call this village home.
The evacuation center is more than just concrete and steel. It's a promise that Buretu will not be forgotten, even as the sea rises.
In the story of climate change, Buretu is a living chapter, a reminder that resilience begins in communities. From rising seas to rising spirits, the people of Buretu stand strong, not as victims, but as survivors.
This program is brought to you with the support of the Public Service Broadcast Grant.